The Galactic Research Station, Kepler's Dream, housed the most prestigious xenobiological specimens in known space. Dr. Zixthara, a renowned Veltarian scientist with her crystalline carapace gleaming under the sterile lights, stood before the reinforced containment unit with growing frustration. Inside, 3 dragon hatchlings, no larger than house cats, writhed and hissed, their iridescent scales catching the light like fragments of trapped starfire. "This is the 7th researcher they've injured this cycle," she clicked to her assistant. A 4-armed Nexian whose blue skin had gone pale with anxiety. "The juveniles refuse all contact. They won't feed, won't accept medical examination, and they bite anything that approaches." The hatchlings were the first of their species ever captured alive, rescued from a dying world in the Outer Rim. Their adult counterparts were legendary, creatures of such ferocity that entire star systems had been abandoned rather than face their wrath. Yet these infants, barely hatched, seemed to carry the same lethal disposition. "Perhaps we should consider euthanasia," the Nexian suggested reluctantly. "For the safety of the crew." Dr. Zixthara's antenna twitched in disagreement. "Absolutely not. These specimens represent a scientific breakthrough of unprecedented magnitude. There must be another way." As if responding to their conversation, one of the hatchlings, a particularly aggressive specimen with scales that shifted from deep purple to angry red, launched itself at the transparent aluminum barrier. Its needle-sharp teeth scraped harmlessly against the surface, but the intention was unmistakable. "Ma'am," came a hesitant voice from behind them. Both scientists turned to see Marcus Rivera, the human janitor assigned to their sector. He stood in the doorway, his maintenance uniform rumpled, a cleaning cart beside him. Humans were relatively new to galactic civilization. Their species had only achieved faster-than-light travel within the last century, and they were generally regarded as unremarkable. Useful enough for menial labor, but lacking the intellectual sophistication or specialized biology of the elder races. "I couldn't help but overhear," Marcus continued, his weathered hands fidgeting with his cleaning cloth. "Maybe I could try?" Dr. Zixithara's compound eyes fixed on him with something approaching amusement. "Human, these creatures have injured trained xenobiologists with decades of experience. What could you possibly—" "Sometimes animals just need someone who understands being scared," Marcus interrupted quietly. The Veltarian's carapace bristled at the interruption, but her scientific curiosity overrode her indignation. What did they have to lose? "Very well, but you'll sign a full liability waiver." 10 minutes later, Marcus stood before the containment unit as the safety protocols were temporarily disabled. The 3 hatchlings immediately noticed the change, their serpentine heads snapping toward him with predatory focus. The largest one, the purple-scaled aggressor, coiled like a spring, ready to strike. Marcus slowly lowered himself to the floor, cross-legged, and simply waited. The hatchlings watched him suspiciously. Minutes passed. Dr. Zixithara tapped her claws impatiently against her data pad, while the Nexian assistant monitored vital signs from a safe distance. "This is pointless," the Veltarian muttered. But Marcus remained motionless, breathing slowly and evenly. Something in his stillness seemed to intrigue the creatures. The smallest hatchling, its scales a shifting pattern of gold and green, took a tentative step forward. "Easy there, little one," Marcus whispered, so softly the universal translator barely caught it. "I know you're scared. New place, strange smells, weird-looking aliens poking at you all day." The golden hatchling tilted its head, processing the gentle tone, if not the words. "I get it," Marcus continued. "When I was little, my family moved around a lot. New schools, new faces, made me want to bite people too sometimes." Impossibly, the golden hatchling took another step closer. Its siblings watched with wary curiosity as it approached the strange, still figure. "That's it," Marcus breathed. "I'm not going anywhere, not going to grab you or stick you with needles." The hatchling sniffed at his outstretched hand, its forked tongue flickering out to taste his scent. Finding no threat, it bumped its small head against his palm, the dragon equivalent of a cat's headbutt. Dr. Zixthara's datapad clattered to the floor. Emboldened by its sibling's success, the second hatchling, scales rippling between silver and blue, approached. Soon it too was nuzzling against Marcus's hands, seeking the warmth of contact it had been denied. The purple-scaled aggressor held, out the longest, pride and fear warring in its reptilian features. But eventually, even it succumbed to the universal need for comfort. With a sound halfway between a purr and a rumble, it settled into Marcus's lap, its dangerous claws retracting as it curled up like an oversized, scaly kitten. "How?" Dr. Zixthara whispered, her scientific worldview crumbling. "What technique did you use?" Marcus looked up from the pile of contented hatchlings now sleeping peacefully against him. "No technique. Just sometimes being the most dangerous thing in the galaxy doesn't matter if someone's willing to sit with you when you're scared." The Veltarian stared at him, then at her instruments showing the hatchling's stress hormones dropping to normal levels, for the first time since their capture. In all her years of study, with all her advanced degrees and sophisticated equipment, she had missed the most fundamental truth. Sometimes, the most complex problems had the simplest solutions. "Human," she said finally, her voice carrying newfound respect, "would you be willing to accept a promotion to senior xenobiological specialist?" Marcus smiled, gently stroking the sleeping dragons. "Sure, but I'm keeping the mop. You never know when you might need to clean up a mess." As word spread throughout the station about the human who had tamed the untamable hatchlings, other species began to take notice of humanity's peculiar gift. Not their technology or their weapons, but their uncanny ability to find kinship in the most unlikely places. In the vast, often hostile galaxy, perhaps that was humanity's greatest strength, the radical notion that sometimes everyone just needed someone willing to sit still and understand.